What's good? What's good? We live out here, man.
Hey, we here. I'm excited.
What's going on with you today, brother?
Blessed had a birthday yesterday, so I thank God for him allowing me to see another year. It's amazing when you're walking in your purpose and you're living in your purpose and you're living a life of what you love to do.
Right.
So I'm grateful that he has provided me the opportunity to do what I love instead of just being here, because sometimes we just exist and it's just a huge difference between living and existing. And I'm
Right.
enjoying living, Quace, regardless to COVID-19 or anything else that life is throwing at me. I'm grateful because there's so many people that was wish they was alive to have my type of issues. How
Real
about
talk,
you?
real talk. Well, let me better yet, let me kick it off real quick, man, and just say happy birthday, man. King Martin in the
Thank you.
building. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, thank you.
For sure,
Appreciate it.
man. And yeah, no, man. Like I said, life is so important now, man. Like I said, especially as you get older and you kind of live through these things, you experience things. Let's say your perspective on life totally changes, man. So those simple things become so important. And then like I said, all this other nonsense, really has no value, man. So no, I'm with it, man. And like I said, it's we got work to do. We got work to do. So yeah, just let's hit him with a quick intro, man. So just give us a quick intro about yourself, King Martin. Oh, did I lose you? Oh, we might be having a tech issue. Hold on one sec. Oh, I might have lost you. Give him one sec, everybody. Like his wireless might be acting up a little bit. Give him one sec.
Sorry about that little bit of technical difficulties with the internet.
It's all good, man. Listen, I was about to send the
Yeah.
authorities to find you, man. Come on, man.
Nah, I'm safe. I'm protected, man. I'm covered by the blessings of God. So,
I hear
and
that.
actually, I'm glad that the technical difficulties happen because we have technical difficulties in life, and life throws us different curveballs. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just got to be willing to sit in a storm to be able to get to your rainbow. So I encourage you to be excited when the technical difficulties things happen. You know what I mean? It only lets you know that you're closer to the finish line. So you just got to keep pushing to get to where you want to be.
Facts, facts, facts. So let's just give him a quick little intro, man, just so folks know who you are.
Well, I'm your host, Carl King Jaquel Martin. I'm sitting here with the amazing Kwesi Price. You see how sharp this brother's looking, so I'm just blessed to be in his presence. But we want to welcome you to our show, Look in the Mirror, The Conversation. It's a live interactive talk show where our audience can join us on the panel and just share, you know, truthful opinions. We want to know what your thoughts are. You guys help make the show. Basically, to tell the truth, you guys are the show because the more opinions that we get, the more we get to grow, the more we get to share knowledge, and the more we get to be able to take these type of informations and put them in place to be, to do something about it. We don't want to just conversate, but we want to put action behind our words just as well. So we want to welcome you to Look in the Mirror, the conversation. I'm your host, King Jacquel Martin, and I'm standing here with your co-host, the amazing Kwesi Price. Tell me about yourself, Quasi.
So yeah, so Kawasi Price, once again, let's say IT by day, let's say it's stock forex trader by night, juice company owner. So yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of the movement. Let's say happy to build with like-minded individuals. Happy to build with my brother King Martin. Let's say we go way back. We got some history. Like I said, brilliant brother. Always thinking, forward moving. And I said that's what we need in the community. So yeah, happy to be a part of it.
Right. Oh, also, hey, be on the lookout this month coming for A Warm Friendly Ground, the short film. We're releasing it to film festivals. I'm super excited. I'm super grateful. For those who don't know, I am a director, I'm an author, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm an actor, and I'm just blessed to be able to be living in my purpose. So, what you guys are looking at is a website that was created by my amazing girlfriend, Ashley Aguilar, who is filming right now, who is also an amazing actress, and she has so many other talents and so many other gifts that she's sharing with the world. So this is the website that she built for me. You can check it out. It's a war on friendlygrounds.com. It showcases the book that I wrote. It talks about the journey that I went through, you know, the technical difficulty that life threw at me when I was wrongfully assaulted by the police in my military uniform, and how, you know, you got to keep pushing forward. And now, because I kept pushing forward, you guys are able to see the other side of the rainbow that I'm walking in because of me consistently pushing forward no matter what the world threw at me. So what you see is here is links to my interviews on Jake Tapper. You see the link to Amazon where you can purchase the book if you're interested in purchasing the book. And I'm just happy born day. You got me. And you get to see our stuff, man. As far as Look in the Mirror Productions, man, the conversation with me and my amazing host, Kwesi Price.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, we had to go ahead and put it out there. So yeah, everybody go check out A War on Friendly Grounds. Like I said, the brothers got a story to tell, and I think we all need to hear it, and we all need to share it. So yeah, go check them out. awaronfriendlygrounds.com.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys with the blessing. And make sure you guys support Kwesi's juice company as well. Kwesi, tell them about your juice company, man, and one of them things that you got going on.
Yeah, so we own a company by the name of Two Sons Juice Company. The company actually was started, you know, interesting enough, for my two sons. Let's say we were just looking at all of the beverage options out here, man, and everything is just full of sugar and fructose and dyes and chemicals and all type of stuff that you can't pronounce. And it basically, I got to a point one day where I just made my mind up, and I'm like, we got to do something better, you know, for these little fellas, you know, something that they can consume that's not so toxic, you know, something that's just pure, something that's just clean and it's actually good for them. And it's weird because, let's say, my youngest, you know, he's anti-vegetable, you know, he don't want nothing green, man. But by us doing the fresh juice, he actually enjoyed it, right? So now he's drinking spinach and celery and all type. So yeah, man. So that's why we started the company. And like I said, it just has grown into what it's grown in today. To where, like I said, we're just doing all types of fresh juice blends. You know, like I said, we got a few different options. But yeah, go check us out when you get a minute. Like I said, twosonsjuicecode.com. So www.twosonsjuicecode.com. And like I said, we're based in Metro Detroit. So yeah, go check us out.
Now, the beautiful thing about what Kwesi just did as far as showcasing the book and showcasing his juice restaurant goes into our topic today. And I do want to shout out Mr. Gary Red, who made this amazing t-shirt, Slave to None. Appreciate you, Mr. Gary Red, good friend of mine. He also has another t-shirt called Choke Injustice, which is just brilliant. He gave us these for free, man. He just wanted to just be a blessing, you know. So Kwesi, I'll have to get you a shirt, get your address, and send you your shirts just as well. Okay. But no, we the beautiful thing about what just happened on accident was, well, I guess nothing's on accident because everything has something to do with God's divine intervention, was that we showcased our book and we showcased Kwesi's juice restaurant. And so the topic today is about the black dollar. It's a pretty interesting topic because, you know, we spend so much money. The black dollar only stays in the black community for 24 hours. So what we want to know is, how do you guys feel about the black dollar? Is the black dollar, has it become a black hole? Because if the black dollar is always leaving our community, what happens to our community? And how long should we improve or look to improve, even if it was just baby steps, the circulation of the black dollar in the black community to continue to help build the community? Or do we keep outsourcing everything out the black community and wonder why the black community isn't growing at exponential rates or growing the way it could be growing? So, Kwesi, what do you think about that?
Man, you know what? Yeah, like there's an opportunity there for a major hole, right? And like I said, I think right now we are not taking the black dollar as serious as it needs to be taken. You know, I think this goes way back to, actually, honestly, I think this goes back to integration, right? Like I said, we've gotten in a mindset of dependence, right? So we're always looking to depend on someone else for something or for some avenue or some way out. And like I said, I think that has caused us some issues over time, right? And it has become kind of deeply ingrained in our psyche now. And I think that's one of the first things we got to break to understand how important the circulation of that black dollar is. Like I said, being that the dollar goes out of our community so fast, that validates the fact that we do a lot of supporting of other groups or other producers. You know, we've taken
Right.
a position of just consuming, and I think that
Okay.
is at the root of our issue.
Why do you think that, Quace? Why do you think that we want to consume so much? I have my opinion, but I would love to let you know take the floor on that.
So you know what, I'm gonna say this, man. I feel like first of all, it's partially fear. I still feel like we are scared, and in a lot of instances, I feel like we've been programmed to be scared. But I still think there's a level of fear there. I think there is a level of wanting to belong, because so many
Mm,
things were stripped from us through the through history. um we have gotten to a point where we want to belong, right? So we always want to have
right.
what others have, or because of a lot of the things that have been restricted, or basically taken from us, we always want to have, right? So we're very
Right.
attracted to material things. We're very attracted, like my mama used to say, we like to show off. And with that mindset, you become a lifelong consumer, right? Like
Hmm.
you never think about producing. And like I said, our people have what it takes to produce. I mean, we're some of the most intelligent, resilient, powerful people known to man. But
I agree.
there is a level of trauma there, and you see it play out even in this consumer, producer market. This whole supply and demand, you see it play out. How you feeling about that, man? What you think?
I 100% agree with you. I want to go a little deeper because you know I'm a weirdo or whatever else, right? Isn't it amazing that we went from being slaves to being second in the most of consumption and spending money? And if you look at that, at one point we weren't allowed to have anything, right?
Right.
In the next point, we want everything. And I think that's because of the PTSD syndrome of not
True.
having and seeing everyone else have. So it's now that we have the opportunities to have, we do any and everything that we can in that, right? And I
Right.
think the misconception is, I think, you know, God bless Kanye or whatever else. I do agree what he said was that they made us hate ourselves but love their wealth.
Right.
Well, to an extent, I don't know if it's their wealth, so to speak, but the wealth distribution has never been fair or equaled out. So when you're always in the point of wanting and you're always in the point of struggling and seeing everyone else live a life of happiness or equality or success, when you get a sample of that, you try to live it to the fullest because you know you weren't really invited to that party. You were really blocked from that opportunity. That opportunity was claimed that it really wasn't meant for you because during that time frame you were only still considered three-fifths of a person. Now, when we look at wealth distribution in America, you know, our counterparts who are white, well, you know, they have like 87% of the wealth. You know, so I think the numbers can still be a little fictitious about how much the black people spend because if we only have 13% and they have 87%, I don't see how we're spending, you know what I mean, to the numbers or to the point that they say, which
I feel you.
possibly could be true. But at the same time, I think some of it could be propaganda or manipulated so that way you continue to hate or have self, you know what I'm saying, oppression or whatever else. We create mental chains or mental slavery based off the propaganda that is put out there. Now, I will say in our community, we are addicted to labels, addicted to brands, addicted to something that has nothing to do with you. And I think that that addiction is something that we should discuss and that we talk about. And how did we become so addicted to someone else's name, someone else's legacy, someone else's dream? You know, no disrespect to Michael Jordan, right? Because we've all had a pair of Jordans. I'm not going to act like I've never had a pair of Jordans, but me buying a pair of Jordans has nothing to do with me. That has
True.
everything to do with Mike's legacy. Me putting a pair of Jordans on my feet does nothing for my family. You know what I mean? So why is it that I'm so addicted to, you know, wanting to put Jordans on my feet, but yet I don't want to put that same effort into my own dedication in my own life, right? So I
Right.
ran into this lady at a CEO space. I always talk about her, Miss Myrna Grant, Miss Goddess Lahadi, and you know, she had a conversation with me that just changed my mind. And you guys have probably heard me say it, and you'll continue to hear me say it because in that moment is where my mentality shifted. She asked me, you know, because people from different cultures do different things. You know, can I touch your hair? What? What do you mean, can you touch people's hair? You know what I'm saying? So the lady walks up on me, Quace, and she touches me on my stomach. She touches me on my forehead. She says, you got to give birth to that. I said, excuse me? Why are you touching me? In my mind, right? But I'm trying to be respectful. She said, you got to give birth to that. She says, you look like you play sports. Not trying to be rude, but you do. I said, I do. She says, who's your favorite basketball player? Rest in power and love, Mr. Kobe Bryant. I think you're the greatest to me. You know what I mean? Shout out to LeBron James, who was a GOAT. Shout out to Michael Jordan. No disrespect. You know what I mean? Now, so when she asked me about Kobe Bryant, I said he went to Laura Marion High School. He wound up winning 5 championships. He scored 63 points in 3 quarters versus Dallas. He scored 81 points against Toronto. You know, she's like, oh, he's won 5 different championships. She's like, oh my gosh, you know so much about Kobe. What's your stats? Isn't it amazing that we know so much about someone else's life, but we don't take that same energy to put in our life? Isn't it amazing that we will go shoot, kill, steal, and rob for someone else's name, but we can't put that same energy into our own dream? And that's why I told that story, because we put so much emphasis in someone else's label, Louis Vuitton, whatever it is, someone else's name, someone else's brand. It has nothing to do with our own family's legacy.
Right.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to do those type of things, but I'm saying, why is it that we're investing somewhere else than investing in our own and creating our own empire and creating our own thing, so we can stop being the consumers to the one who is out there giving out the products? You know what I mean? And that's the
True.
beautiful thing that I love about Master P. And I think Master P was a genius in his hustle, because instead of consuming everyone else, Master P came out with his own. And that's the
Right.
genius behind him.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree with that, man. No, Master P, man, he's, you know, anybody who knows me, Master P is like one of my idols, man. I've been following P since he
Yeah.
was pushing units out the trunk. I've been following P
Yep.
since he negotiated that. I want to say it was 75 cents a unit. You know, it was basically unparamount at that time. Yeah, I've been following P for a long time. I'm a huge No Limit fan, but it really is because of that ethic that you see out of P, right? Like I said, I know he came
Right.
out of the streets. I know some of his history, but the dude has work ethic. He's about building. You know, he was always putting on his people. If it was family, if it was
Yeah.
folks that wasn't from the same projects, like he always took care of his community, man. He still does it to this
Right.
day. So I
Shout
have
out to Master P.
for
If you
sure.
see this,
Yeah,
shout out to
I
Master P. We want to give you your
for
love and
sure.
credit.
For sure. I got huge respect, man, for Master P, man. Like I said, I've been
Yeah.
rocking with him for a long time, man. And like I said, it's for that reason. And like I said, he was honestly, man, he was just a great example, man, of owning
Yeah.
your own. Like he was a
Yeah.
great example. And I think, like I said, that brings up another point, man. I think we have to
One second, Quace.
go ahead.
Master P also went to CEO Space, the same place where I met Miss Myrna Grant. God rest his soul, rest in power and love, Mr. Bernie Durham, who just passed away, and his amazing wife, September Durham, Miss Cheryl Brenner, who runs that forum or whatever else. Master P actually had his son Romeo and Symphonique there or whatever else, and that's where I got the chance to meet them out there or whatever else. He's always been on his entrepreneurship. He's always been about owning his own. And the funny thing is that most people might know about Master P, and I could be wrong, but I believe this to be true, is the reason why rappers have some of the deals today that they have is because of what Master P did, and being so business minded. I believe the reason why rappers make so much as they make, he changed the game for them.
Correct. No, he did, man. He literally paved the way for a lot of these deals that you see now. Like I said, at that time, that was unheard of, man.
Right.
Per unit, and you know, in the music industry, man. And like I said,
Right.
he basically came out the trunk. Like I said, that was with no agent, none of that. He did that on his own, man. So you got to respect that hustle, man. And like I said, that kind of segues into another point, man. I think as a people, we have to realize what we come from, right? So I've heard stories, talking to grandparents, talking to parents. I've heard stories, man, of, and I'll just use my grandfather as an example. You know, he owned a corner store on the east side of Detroit. He owned a couple houses on the east side of Detroit. So he was already a business owner, if you will. My grandmother, she owned property. I said, when you go dig back in your family, you see a lot of times, and not less than not every family, but you see a lot of times that there was ownership in your family, right? Because
Right.
there was more of a focus on owning your own and your own economic power. Like I said, there was a lot of
Okay.
restrictions back then, and people did not have access to things. So a lot of our people took it upon themselves because that's what they knew, that's what they grew up around, and they
Right.
owned. You know, I said if it was
Right.
housing, if it was stores, if it was printing companies, if another thing that we do, we do a lot of is funeral homes. There's so many black-owned funeral homes, and people just that goes over your head. Like I said, we think about the funeral as it is today, but we don't think about the fact that most funeral homes are generational wealth businesses. They're multi-generational. It started with a great grandfather who passed it down to his son and
Right.
his son and so forth. And now today you have these funeral homes still carrying the family name. Like that's real generational wealth. And like I said, we were doing this, we were thinking that way. But like I said,
Right.
today we have lost sight of that because I think we have changed our priorities in the wrong direction. And now
Okay.
we're seeing the outcome of that. Back in those days, like I said, everything was not consumed. Things were being created within the community, within that economic structure, and it supported that community. Yep, neighbors were helping
Right.
other neighbors. There was bartering going on. And like I said, at the end of the day, even bartering, there's a certain level of ownership in that.
Bartering and trading. Right.
Yeah. So like I
Right.
said, there was all types of things
Right.
going on back then, man. But like I said, we've lost sight of that. And like I said, those are the things that I feel like we have to get back to. And don't get me wrong. Let me just put this disclaimer out there. I'm not saying that we're not out here owning black-owned businesses. We are, right?
Right.
If you watch what's happening right now, there's a huge insurgence of black ownership going on right now. Like I said, we're in a wave right now, right? And statistically, black
Especially with
females,
black women.
yeah, for sure. I was just about to say that
Yep.
black females are dominating that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
a part of that is, and once again, shout out to the queens. Like I said, all of the
Shout out to the
black
queens.
females out there that are, have started a business, they are providing, for their family or supporting their family. They helping build that generational wealth, generating those additional streams of income. Salute to you. Like I said, that's what we
Right.
need to be doing, right? But
And
now
we
I
need to
need to see
support that as men too. We have to have our queens back and support that, push that, and encourage that. You know what I mean? Because that's how we create generational wealth within our community.
Correct. But at the same time, I gotta say this: I need the fellas to step up. I need the black men out here to
Oh yeah,
step up
absolutely,
and get on that wave. Because
absolutely,
what you'll realize is
absolutely.
right now a lot of your time is being burned up. If it be a 9 to 5, if it be whatever you got going on, it's burn up a lot of your time. But you got to redivert some of that energy back into building internally within your family so that you can see the fruits of that thing as it develops. Because you want to get it to the point where your kids, they don't have to work. They can ride the work
Can you
that
say that
you'll
one more
invite.
time, please? Can you
You
say that
want
one
to
more
get it,
time, just for the
yeah,
church, for the conversation, for the congregation?
black man, you want to get it to the point, black woman, you want to get it to the point where your kids don't have to work. So you put in that work now so they can basically enjoy the fruits of that labor. And we got to focus on that. And at the same time, once you get into that mindset overall, you're going to see that thing spread throughout the community. Like I said, which is a little bit of what you're seeing right now. Like I said, because we're riding this wave. And like I said, I'm just seeing, I see all types of posts. I see all types of folks I used to go to school with. Businesses popping up like crazy. A lot of businesses online. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the resources are there, the opportunities are there, but we got to change our mindset, because if you don't change your mindset, then that outcome is not going to be where you need it to be.
Quace, man. Like, so when I was in this conversation with Goddess Lahadi, right, and I'm glad you said that and you ended on that mindset thing, right? She says, do you know the difference between wealthy and rich?
Right.
She says wealthy people don't have to try to be wealthy because they have multiple streams of income, which allow them to stay wealthy. Rich people have to work to stay rich, right? She says the problem in the Black community or with minorities is they dominate everything they do,
right,
but they rarely own any of it. Kobe Bryant might be able to leave his children 5 championship rings and the money that he's made for the Lakers, but the person who's really winning is Jim Buss or Jerry Buss. I'm sorry, Jerry Buss. He ain't had to make a basket, but because
Right.
of ownership and the levels to it, you know. So it started making me think, right? And it was just like a crazy conversation. It's an amazing. If you look around in your house or wherever you are located right now in the audience, just look around. What do you see? I see plants, TVs, workout machines, air conditioners, mirrors, couches, the clothes I got on, the tie Quasi got on, the bricks. Everything you see is someone else's dream.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're always participating in their dream, who's participating in yours?
Correct.
How come their dream became more important than your dream? And Quace brought up the 9 to 5. She says, okay, King, what plantation do you work for? Is it McDonald's or is it Google? Because the structure of a plantation is the same structure that it is in business. When you're on a plantation, you have a slave, you have a slave owner, and you have massa. Well, when in business, you have a worker bee, who is the slave, you have the manager, who is the slave driver, and then you have the CEO, who is massa. The fundamental principles of the structure of business is exactly the same thing. And that just blew my mind. And I was just like, wow, that's so interesting. So I was talking to my nephews and stuff, and I was like, yo, because they had a job interview. I said, why you
Mm-hmm.
get up dressed up today? I got dressed up for myself. I said, did you? Really? Because you could have got dressed up any day, but the day you had an interview, you got dressed up. He was like, so why did you get dressed up today? Because I got an interview. Okay, so you got dressed up for an interview, right? Which was you took the energy to find some nice clothes. You're gonna go in there. You're gonna speak more articulate. You're gonna play the game. You're gonna make sure that you're speaking kindly. You're gonna do what you got to do to get the job. Not only are you gonna do what you got to do to get the job, when you get the job, you're gonna handle business because you want to shine while you're getting, you know what I'm saying, while you're working. That way you can get promoted, you can make more money or whatever else, right? To get the bag. And I said, that's fire. That is amazing. But isn't it crazy that you can get up, get dressed, talk how they tell you to talk, work within the confines of the rules that they tell you to, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
when it comes to starting your own business or starting your own creation or doing what you need to do, you are lazy. Why would you be lazy for yourself and work hard for someone else? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do what you need to do to get the money to create your own businesses and everything else. I'm just saying the same energy that you can put in for someone else's dream while they're relaxing on the island while you working, you should have that same energy to say, okay, this is my mindset. I'm going to bust my butt, get this bread, and still work on my dream. So that way, eventually, I can walk away from this situation and walk into my purpose and walk into my dream. Because the more we walk into our dreams, the more our money can stay into our community. And we can have, we don't just have to be the consumer all the time. We can
Facts.
come out with our own products and control the supply and demand.
Facts. And let me just say thanks for joining everybody who's joined the live. We also have a comment from Chloe Price that said that's profound. Yeah, no, it definitely is profound. Yeah, man. Like I said, once again, we talking that dependence, man. Like I said, even the
Yeah.
9 to
Hey,
5, man. That
shout out who all joined. Shout out, say their names, who all joined, and invite them to the panel if they want to join the panel just as well.
Yeah, no, I got Chloe Price on here right now. So welcome to the discussion, Chloe Price.
Welcome, Miss Price.
Yeah, that's all I see on here right now.
All right, cool, no problem. We
But
got to
yeah,
figure out a way to get the followers from the Facebook into the stream so that way we can continue flowing.
correct. But yeah, let's say you made a valid point, man. Like I said, it's just that's that dependency mindset, man. Like I said, we're still in a dependency. Like I said, in that 9 to 5 scenario, that is the dependency, man. And like I said, that's something we got to break. Like I said, because that time that is utilized in that 9 to 5, let's say you could be utilizing that time to build. You could be utilizing that time to establish a structure, to get your plan in order, to get your resources in order. So let's say we We got to break that, because at the end of the day, let's say the 9 to 5 never gets you where you want to get. It only gets you so far. It basically pays your bills, but it never really gets you to a level of building. It never really gets you to a level of generational wealth. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not knocking anybody who works a 9 to 5. At the end of the day, you have to leverage that 9 to 5. I said the 9 to 5 should not be your only way out. I said you have
Right.
to leverage the 9 to 5 for the funding. Use the funding
Okay.
from 9 to 5, and then build your empire outside of that 9 to 5. And
Okay.
I said that should be the goal. We got a
Like,
question from we got a question, Los, from Chloe Price. Can you speak on how other cultures have a village mindset while we tend to be more self-focused? Yeah, so you want to touch that first, Los? You want me to get it?
you can go first, and I'll touch it afterwards.
Yeah, so when you look at other cultures, right? So you have your Arab Americans, Lebanese Americans, you have your Asians, and I'm just looping in Japanese, Chinese, you know, your Thai folks. They have a you know, more of a collective village type culture, right? So when they approach business, they approach it from a shared model, right? So there's multiple people from that
Yep.
same culture working that business, right? Now I'll just use an Asian nail salon for an example, and Chloe's right, Asian beauty supplies and so forth. So I'll use an Asian nail salon as an example, right? So you have a collection of Asian workers who work in the
Okay.
nail salon, right?
Okay.
They do the volume.
Okay.
Typically, it's typically sisters, actually. It's typically black women that support those businesses, right? So they do the
Okay.
volume, they make the
Well,
money.
a lot of people support their businesses, and shout out to all of our Asian people out there watching and
For
joining the
sure,
show.
for
We
sure.
appreciate you. Love you guys.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, we just spitting facts. It is what it is. But yeah,
Right.
no, they do have a diverse you know, clientele.
Right.
But you know, they collectively do that volume during the day, and they generate that income, right? And then at the end of
Mhm.
the night, that income basically is distributed out amongst all the workers equally. So it is not the
Right.
same scenario that we see, let's just say in the black owned salon, where you have, you know, Kelly, she's doing nails over there. You got Jennifer, she's doing nails over there. And there's no collective, right? So Kelly's taking her
Right.
money home, Jennifer's taking her money home, right? Um,
Everybody's paying for their booth. They're paying for
exactly,
their booth, their stand that they work out of, and each booth has a different price that they charge or whatever else. So part of it
exactly,
goes back to the overall shop, and then that individual, whatever that individual did for the day, it's individually taken home. And you're saying in the Asian community, it's collectively split.
it's collective, right? And see what that does
Okay.
is you equally distribute that money out to all of those workers along with the owner, right? So when
Okay.
they get to a certain level, then they branch off. So
Right. And
some
then
of
they
those
start their
workers,
own nail
exactly,
salon.
and they start opening
Right.
up other shops and continue that same process, right? So that's that
Right.
economic power that we're talking about. Now, when you compare that to the African American or the black owned salon, different structure. Let's say you got Kelly, you got Jennifer, they separate, right? So, but what you'll see is Kelly may be doing nails a little better. So now Kelly, she's booking all the appointments. She's getting all the appointments while Jennifer is struggling over here a little bit because maybe she's not as hot or as popular as Kelly. So now you have this
Right.
divide that happens, right? Then you end up with
Mhm.
ladies sitting in the salon waiting on Kelly, and
And the
Jennifer
energy
may
is divided.
exactly Jennifer might
Right.
be wide open to service them, but the ladies is waiting on Kelly because Kelly does a
Mhm.
better job. So see, now you got Jennifer, she's
Mhm.
struggling for money while Kelly making all the money. You see what I'm saying? So now you got this divide. So then when they leave work for the day, Jennifer, she's just over broke. Kelly, you know, she's driving off in the 600 Mercedes. So see, now you got this divide.
Right.
That collective thing is not there. And then
Right.
the other thing that you see is
Right.
um,
I got one for you,
the fact of, we also got to consider the fact of saturation, right? So this is another piece that ties into this cultural mindset. So if you, I'll just take it, you know, Detroit for an example. When you drive down a street in Detroit, you may see 5 black-owned hair salons and barbershops on the same block,
Right.
all
Location,
on the
location,
same block,
location.
right? And what that does is you're literally canceling each other out because you have
Yeah.
consumers basically trying to choose from 5 salons and barbershops on the same block.
Very
You
true.
see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But they're all doing different things. But take that scenario and consolidate it down to, let's just say, one or two mega shops, and then you would be more able to collectively take in that income and disperse it. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't be as much competition with you guys saturating that same block. And see, once again,
Okay.
these are deep-rooted things, but deep-rooted mindsets that we have to change as a people if we want to circulate our dollars in our community.
I got one for you, Quace.
Go ahead.
I live in Koreatown in LA, and we see buses come in with other races. Let's just say any color of the crayon box, because I just don't want to identify one race, because I think multiple races do it. And they will pay for a home, and everyone lives in that home, and they will continue to pay for that home until that home's paid off. And once that home is paid off, they move into the next home together collectively. One stays, and then everyone pays off the next home collectively. And the rents wash and repeat. They do this in the hotel chains as well. So now you have people who have multiple of homes, hotels, and businesses, because they collectively took their time, paid for one, and then they went to the next one. And then they repeated this, right? Sometimes I feel like in our community, when you reach 18, it's time to get out.
Right.
Time to start over. And a lot of times we send, instead of having this rotating cycle of we're all going to buy this home together, we're all going to go into this business together, and we're all going to set up each other for longevity and generational wealth, I feel like sometimes in our community, we start over once you reach 18.
Right.
And in some people's families, your credit's already messed up because you already had bills in your name that you didn't even know about. And so now you're all starting behind the 8 ball for real, because you're starting with bad credit. Now, I'm not saying that's everyone's circumstance. I'm just saying those are certain things that I've seen, and maybe you've seen. When I turned 18, it was time for me to get out, go to the military, and start my own. It was time for me to figure the world out. It wasn't the plan of we're all going to stay in this home together. We're all going to, get along to get this home. And then whoever is the oldest will make sure that we move into the next home for the oldest, and the oldest will get that home. And then middle child will get this home. And then the last child will get that home, where everyone is already set up, and now everyone has houses. Or this is the business. It's very rare now that you see businesses being passed on into a family name. Back in the day, your last name meant something. You was known for something. Now, I'm not saying that you can't branch out and have different skills or anything else, but I'm just saying in order to create that generational wealth, things were passed on through the lineage,
Correct.
a trade, a tool. And I think we've gotten so far away from that, or we've got to the point of we hit the reset button when we turn 18.
Right.
And we had to start all over instead of collectively continuing that cycle.
Yeah, and that's a problem, man, because something, once again, another thing that we got to reassess and actually change our mindset on. Somebody is not ready for this world at 18. Let me just be honest with you. And then two, when we decide, or when we say to ourselves, yeah, you're 18, you're on your own, get on out of here. You're not sending them out with no tools and no plan. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, college ain't a plan. Yeah, that's something.
I would love to do the research on where that started from. Where did, when you turn 18, get out, figure it out? How did that start in our culture? What was the manipulation for us to believe that to be factual or true? You know what I mean? Because we used to hear old sayings like it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
We used to hear collectively, if you do something wrong, that you get your butt whooped by the neighbor come tell your parents, and then you get, you know what I'm saying? It used to be a community type of thing. And now we're so far from community. And I'll go even deeper. We're so far away from loving each other that, we don't last, or we don't build, and everything is starting all over from fresh ground. And when we do finally make it, we make it. And then, no disrespect, you can love whoever you want to love. I want to be clear on that. I'm gonna say this one more time. You can love whoever you want to love. I just think sometimes from PTSD of slavery syndrome, when you love another race, whether it be a white person or someone else, you look back and then you talk bad about your own race. And that's where I have a problem in it. And when we have athletes that make it, then that wealth has left the community, has left our culture or whatever else. And then usually the wife gets it, and that goes into another community, which leaves the wealth dry for our community. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's wrong to a certain extent. I'm just saying this, look at it from a global or a bigger perspective about financial security within the Black community is what I'm stating.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Like I said, it once again for me it's back to that dependency. It's back to mindset. We got to do better, and I'm gonna segue into something. So I posted about this a while ago, on my Facebook page. Because like I said, I like to get down to the root of what's going on. I like to get down to the root of what we're seeing out here, right? And being a black owned business myself, and having, colleagues that have black owned businesses, you see all types of things, right? And one of the things that I see is there's a huge double standard when it comes to black owned businesses. And I'm speaking from the perspective of a black person supporting a black owned business. Now, let me be clear. This is not everybody. So let me be clear, because I know how folks do. I'm not saying that every black person is this when it comes to supporting black businesses. So let me be clear on that. But what I do see is a double standard, right? And we have, black owned businesses popping up left and right. Like, like we talked about earlier, it's a lot of female or black female owned businesses that are popping up as well, kind of leading the charge. And like I said, there's a double standard when it comes to supporting those businesses. And we got to be mindful of that. At the end of the day, the black businesses, they need the support. Essentially, black owned businesses in this day and age are playing catch up. We behind, and we're playing catch up, right? Black owned businesses don't always have the same resources. They don't always have the same access to funding. It's harder for them to get real estate, or harder for them to get property for their locations. It's harder for them to get product. So we have to keep that in mind. Let's say we're playing catch up. And we gotta, in order for us to economically grow and actually utilize and circulate our own dollars within our community, we've got to let this double standard go. And what I mean by this double standard is I've seen a lot of times where a black owned business can supply a product, let's just say making pizzas, and a business owned by another culture can make the same pizzas. And people will support the business from the other culture before they'll support the black owned business. And like I said, there's a double standard in the levels of service. There's a double standard when it comes to the product. There's even a double standard when it comes to the price. And like I said, we got to let that go. As a community, we have to let that go. And like I said, this is the hard truth. I may make some enemies.
Can I add one more on that, Kwesi?
Go ahead, Los.
Can I add one more to that? It's funny that we mentioned Master P earlier, right? And we just want you guys to know this is all unscripted. We're just speaking from the heart, and we just allow God's energy to flow. It's funny that we used Master P right earlier, because everybody wants the hookup. Remember Master P used to have that movie, I Got the Hookup? Everybody always wants the hookup. You know what I mean? And if they don't get the hookup, then they don't want support. But you don't go into other businesses asking for the same type of hookup. You just expect it because you're black or African American or dark skinned or minority. You just expect for the hookup. But when you go into a business that is not of your race, it could be of the Jewish community, it could be of the white, Asian, Mexican, you're not asking for the same type of things.
Right.
Those conversations don't enter your mind or even enter your thought process, but it's expected when you see someone who look like you. And I think that's wrong. I think we have to show more honor and more respect because, first of all, in order to start a business, like Kwesi already said, we're already behind the 8 ball in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, there's different checks and balances and a lot of red tape that people have to go through to even be able to do these different type of things. It's a lot harder for us to go through this process than, you know, some of the other colors in the crayon box. It is what it is. These are just the facts. So
Right.
understand that we have to have more of an understanding. We have to have more of an understanding that in this race of business, we are 400, 500 years behind because initially we weren't able to read and write. We weren't even
Right.
allowed to have businesses. So having businesses and playing catch up to someone who's doing Monopoly since the beginning and playing the game of Monopoly since the beginning, it will be a dope conversation that we need to have. The game of Monopoly in America or in life. I'll tell you about that one later, Quace. We definitely have to do that one. But you know, we're behind and we're playing catch up. And we have to be more supportive. We have to support our queens that have businesses. We have to support our men that have. We have to support. Period. We got to get out and show love because it's
Yeah.
amazing that you can go spend $40, $50 at the club or on a drink or go buy someone else's logo and everything else, but yet you don't want to support your own. And we are the only community, if you do your real research on that, we are a community that's suffering because of it, because of us in that area. We have to be accountable for that for us.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
if you
fact.
don't like how someone else's narrative is, then stop spending your money there.
Right. That's facts, man. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, support, at least from my perspective, support is supposed to be just like love. It's supposed to be unconditional.
Mm,
So if you really gonna support a black-owned businesses, actually support them, right? You know, don't support them with the criteria, right? If he don't do
mm,
this just right, or if he don't be this, then I'm never going back. Like I hear a lot
mm.
of that. You know what I'm saying? I hear a lot of that. You know, oh, I went to support this black-owned business, and I told you so. You know, they was slow and this, that, and it's like, wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute. Let's keep it a buck right now. I've seen you go to businesses that are owned by other cultures. They've given you bad service, and you still went back. So
Facts.
I need to understand, once again, back to that double standard. Why is it that when she dropped the ball, then you was done with her? You was ready to cut her off. And let's say we touched on this the other day, Los, you know, when we was
Can we go a
talking
little
about.
deeper too? What
Go
was
ahead.
that Gap where they had the shirt with the boy that looked like a monkey on it, and
Right.
people still go back and shop there.
Yeah.
Tommy Hilfiger when they said the clothes wasn't made for you. You know, if I knew you were going to wear these clothes, I wouldn't have made it because it wasn't for you. You've had a lot of people and a lot of different brands come out and say different things. How about the NFL? We can't let the inmates run the prison. How about Donald Sterling for the Clippers and his racist allegations and remarks? But yet you still watch sports. You still, I mean, there's so many different things that have been said that you still support, yet you have a double standard when it comes to us.
Right. Right. And let's say that is a big piece of this, man. We gotta let that double standard go. Like I said, that is really stifling our growth, man, as a community. And like I said, we have what it takes, but we have to let those mindsets go because I said they're literally killing our forward progress. It's literally just making everything stagnant. And like I said, we really, honestly, we got everything we need, but we just got to support each other. Like that's really what it comes down to. We got actors, we got actresses, we got restaurateurs, we got juice companies, we got real estate guys, we got tech guys, we got finance folks, we got fix your credits, we got boutiques everywhere, we got health food. Like we got it all. The only thing we need to add a couple more of is grocery stores, but for the most part, we got it all. We got everything we need, but we got to get out of those mindsets. But let me flip side it real fast. So
Okay.
when I posted about this, you know, and I was just, you know, I just polled the black community, you know, what's your beef? What's your issue with supporting black owned businesses, right? You know, and like I said, you know, I got a lot of responses. But the main response that I got
Can you read a couple of them for us?
was just, I mean, I'm kind of summing it up because it all
Okay.
basically came back to the same thing. So
Okay.
the main thing that I got back was a lot of black owned businesses don't do well with customer service, right?
Mm.
That's basically the main thing I got back. You know, there was communication wrapped in there and courtesy and, you know, folks coming into the establishment and you're not speaking to them or greeting them when they first came in. So that all ties back to customer service, right? And with any
And
success,
professionalism.
exactly. It's just I loop it all together, man. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's the experience. So if
Right.
you don't deliver that experience properly, then like I said, once again, your first your first experience, that's gonna be the most important one. So you gotta leave a good feeling, or you gotta leave a good taste, in your customer or your client's mouth, right? So that was the main thing that I got back, was customer service. So to all my Black owned businesses out there, who are on this live or hearing this live, you got to put a lot of focus around customer service, right? Let's say you got to provide an experience. At the end of the
Right.
day, there's always opposition to supporting your business. That's just facts, because people just have reasons why they don't want to support your business. That's just realistic. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. But at the end of the day, if you look at every customer that you have, or every client that comes across you, and you focus on giving them A1 customer service,
Yeah.
I said that seals the deal. And you know what A1 customer service is. Like I said, I'm sure we all have places. I can name a couple places right now off the top of my head. We all
Chick-fil-A.
have, huh?
Chick-fil-A.
Right. We all have places that we love to frequent, and it's not just because of the product. Like, let that sink in. It's not just because of the product. It's not just because of that chicken sandwich. It's how they talk to you.
I don't know. Popeyes, I don't know, bro. Popeyes, that new chicken sandwich had people going crazy, boy, because I was out that line for about an hour trying to get about 2-3 of them things right there, boy.
Man, I heard some secrets with that sandwich, man. Be careful with that
Ooh-wee.
sandwich.
Ooh, hey, let me tell you, whatever secret it is, they got me. You got me. You heard me? I had about 4 or 5 of them things. We all gonna die, so I'm gonna die happy, boy. That Popeyes chicken sandwich got me, boy. You heard me? Shout out to Popeyes chicken.
I ain't mad at you, man. But yeah, it's that experience. Like I said, I'm sure we all can name a couple places just off the top of our heads right now that make us feel a certain way when we go. Yeah, right. It's not just the product. Yeah, everybody can cook a chicken sandwich. Everybody can cook a good steak. Hold on, man. Come on. Man, let me.
Some people don't be using seasoning. We ain't gonna give everybody credit for making good chicken. We ain't gonna do that. The devil's a lie.
No, I understand, but that's one of the places I'm sure that's on your list, though.
Oh yeah. But Popeyes and Chick-fil-A on my list.
Yeah, we all can name a couple off top of our head. And like I said, it's that experience. That experience is so important. I said it's not just the product. Everybody is duplicating products. It's everybody out here selling a chicken sandwich. Everybody got a for the Black owned community, everybody got a clothing boutique. Everybody selling hair extensions. Everybody cutting hair. Like, we got a lot of duplicating businesses, but it's that experience is what separates a business from its competition. And as Black owned businesses, we got to realize.
Disney World prides himself on that. Disney World tries to create the experience, the magical experience for children when they're there, or whatever else, as far as product and services, as far as greeting you as soon as you come through the gate, as far as trying to get you to take pictures so you can have something memorable and magical. Try to buy this, try to buy that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of businesses, like you said, Quay, are set up off the experience. Even if you go to a baseball game or a football game, it's not just about the game that's being played on the field, it's the game that's being played in the arena, the marketing game. So it's a beautiful experience to get you to come back because you had a great time, because of all the little extracurricular things that had nothing to do with football that was offered there for you so you can be entertained. So I'm glad you dropped that gem to our businesses, to our cultures. I mean, when it comes to customer service, not all, but there are areas that we have to do a SWOT report, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the customer experience can be a game changer for your business. Just like your website. If you got a boring website, nobody wants to watch it. If you're marketing through Snapchat, Instagram, and everything else, but yet the commercial or your advertisement is boring, people are going to keep swiping. So it's definitely about an experience or the illusion that you can create for people to want to come and entertain your business.
Yeah, let me just run through these comments real quick. So yeah, Chloe Price looked like she was agreeing with us on a couple statements. She also said no. Oh, she said no. So I think she was saying no to that Popeyes chicken sandwich, man.
Hey, I'll eat yours for you. You heard me? With a little bit of sparkle, Cajun sparkle sauce, and what you do is, Chloe, you get the sweet heat, or you mix it with the black and ranch on the girls. Let me tell you, that black and ranch chicken on that Popeye's chicken sandwich with a little bit of Cajun sparkle. That's a secret. I'm putting y'all on game right now. You know what I mean?
Man, you tripping, man. You tripping with this chicken sandwich, man.
Hey, I'm trying to educate y'all. I'm trying to educate y'all. And if you don't like black and ranch, go ahead and throw the sweet heat on it. You know what I'm saying? Sweet heat with a little bit of honey so it stick. Got you. You heard it here first. Popeyes, cut me a deal. I got you.
Man.
Promise you.
I like that.
All day long. All Popeyes right there.
You know what Chloe Price said? I'm going to let you have that one.
Thank you. I'll take 2 spicy chicken sandwiches with some fries. And on the side, let me get a little bit of jumbo shrimp. You heard me?
Man, you tripping, man. You tripping. Man, check this out. We coming up on our last minute, man. Let me just drop this to the people real quick.
Close us out.
Once again, for all of the black-owned businesses, I'm proud of y'all. I see y'all out here grinding. I see y'all out here working. Man, let me shout out a couple folks. I see them grinding with their black-owned business. The Thompson family, Leah and Will Thompson. I want to shout y'all out. I see y'all doing big things with your t-shirt line. Good energy. So keep up that good work. I said I just wanted to shout them out because I said they're fresh in my mind right now. But for all the black-owned businesses out there, man, give them that customer service. You know, give them that wow experience. Be on top of things. Like I said, those you know how you like stuff. You know, when you step out to an establishment and you pull your money out, you know how you like to spend your money. You know what you want to experience for your money. So make sure you give that to your customers.
Not only that, hey, drop their names in the comments. Coco, you know, Quasi, tell them, drop every black-owned business that you know, drop it in the comment. Tag them, share it, do all of that. You know what I mean? Because the more we talk about it, the more people are aware, the better choices that we can make. You know, because you might not know where all these black-owned businesses are. You might not know how to keep your dollars in your community. So let's share every black-owned business that we know, every black-owned bank and everything else. Drop them in the comment section so that way we can share and pass it around so we can be more educated to make better decisions with our money.
Yeah, good point, man. No, definitely, like I said, put those in the comments. Put them in the comments on this live. Like I said, we have a couple thousand views or a couple thousand people that have access to these lives. So definitely get that information into these comments so folks know where you at. You know, definitely put that in there. Let them know where you at, what area you service, what you do, you know, your website, all of that. So make sure you get that in the comments. But yeah, like
hey, not only that, support this black show right here. How about that? The conversation. You know what I mean? Look, we just came up with this. It was just an idea that has grown into something that we both love. We hope that you guys love it as well. You guys are the show. We are just up here hosting it. So we would love for you guys to come on the panel, educate us with your knowledge, your stats, your statistics, your opinion, and the things that you know. Enlighten the world, because I think that's our purpose and why we're here, to enlighten the world, to honor the past while we generate things better for the future. So come out, support Look in the Mirror Productions, The Conversation, support Quasi, his juice company, everything that he has going on in the IT world or stock, because he will be dropping gems about stock just as well. Support my book, A War on Friendly Grounds. You can find it at awarronfriendlygrounds.com. Support the film that's about to come out, A War on Friendly Grounds. I got some more movies and things like that, and just support us, because we're going to support you back. If you got a page, we'll like it. Follow us, we'll follow you. And next time you see the show, bring a friend. Quasi, what you got for us before I give them the quote of the day?
Facts. Just the last thing, let's say, for the black-owned businesses, and I'm just going to say this from experience, and this, you know, because this is what you need to do. If anything, stay firm on your prices. Yep, never devalue your business because people don't want to support you, act like they don't want to support you. Stay firm on your prices. Your prices are your prices. Your prices are your value. Stay firm on your prices. Yeah, folks will go out here and spend $600 on a pair of leather shoes. If you're making leather shoes with genuine leather and the whole nine, then there's no problem with your shoes being $600, $700, $800. Stay firm on your prices. But yeah, those are just
Know
some
your
key
worth
words.
is what he's saying.
Exactly,
That's what he said.
exactly.
Know
Know
your
your
worth.
worth and stand firm on that. So I just wanted to get those couple
Eh,
points out to the businesses just to give a couple pieces to take home. But yeah, Los,
Um,
I think we at that time, man. You wanna round
hey,
it out and close us out, man?
you know the same quote that I give every show because I just believe it's a blessing to everybody. If you died today, would you get an A+ on life's report card? And only you know the answer to that question. But if not, and you're best to see tomorrow, you better live like it's extra credit because tomorrow's not promised. I love you guys. Kwesi, we let them know we love you. I love you,
Definitely, brother.
Kwesi, and your family. We love all of our fans and future fans and trolls or haters or whatever else, man. This show is about just love. It's about opinion. It's about growing. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for supporting and tune into our next show. It's going to be great.
For sure, for sure. So yeah, we appreciate the support. Definitely, let's say like the page. Let's say we have a page out there.
Oh, yeah. Like, share,
Um,
subscribe.
yep. Look in the mirror.
Yeah.
The conversation. Let's say we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. So yeah, definitely come check us out. Continue to support. Like I said,
Instagram, we starting our own. We got an Instagram page too. We got an Instagram page too. So just find us. We're gonna find you. I
okay,
want to
yeah,
see how
let's see.
true that is. If they build it, they will come. I want to see if that's true or not. Because we building.
It's true. It's true. But like I said, folks gotta, they gotta want to help build it as well. And like I said, that's the key.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I
Yes,
said, we
sir. We grow
appreciate the
together.
support. Everybody have an awesome night. Once again, King Martin, great show as
Yes,
always.
sir.
And yeah, man, we'll do it again.
Hey, this is
All right.
us signing off. Look in the mirror. The conversation. Love you guys.
All right. Take it easy, everybody.